This is where you and I are going to start arguing.
I mean, maybe. Probably not.
Let's go the Troy Lee Designs Gas team here. And we'll start with Bam Bam having fun
I don't know if we're
on the
gonna argue.
Gas.
I don't know if we're going to argue, man. I think we're probably going to see more eye to eye on that one.
All right.
Maybe.
Well, you want to start with Bam Bam here?
Yeah, let's start with Bam Bam.
Okay.
Man, just a very quiet off season for him. I know he got hurt and at LA there, broke his collarbone again. Was it the same collarbone that he had a lot of issues with?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
All I know is he had issues with it because didn't he break the plate? He rebroke the plate on
he
it.
had
I
to have
think.
like dual surgeries on it. But
He was recently in
anyway,
Italy.
quiet. If he's healthy, I think you're just going to see the same old Bam Bam. Like, it's going to be very hot sometimes and very cold others, and then thrown in the middle of it all is somebody's going to be really pissed at him.
Well, he's gonna be off that team in 2025 probably. So
Yeah, like, he's got enough money in the bank. Like, he's made good money in his career. Like, they've paid him very well, and we've all seen it. Like, he rides like shit, and then when it's time to earn a contract, he's back in action, getting paid well. So
this is what I'll say about Barcia, and I only say that because I've watched that kid for so many years. I was around him a lot as an amateur, or when he was an amateur. At this point in his career, keep doing the whole vlogs and the YouTube stuff and the stuff you do with TLD and having the freedom to do that and then just being more open. Have fun. Tone it down a little bit, which he has to an extent. He's toned it down a little bit.
Just own the dipshit moves.
Yeah.
Just
own it. Be who you're going to be. And then please, for the love of God, when you're done racing over here, you get kicked off your own team, go over and do some GPs for a little bit.
That'd be cool.
And give the fans over there, because for whatever reason, the European fans love Barcia. I don't know where that comes from. Just because there's nobody else over there like him.
Because he's wacky and wild and
I don't
crazy.
know. I think Jeremy Sewer is a little more of a Barcia.
Sewer's a wild. Well, yeah, Sewer's a wild child.
He's like a European Barcia.
But go over and do some GPs, man. Round out your career. I know his wife, I'm pretty sure, is from England, so like that would translate. They would, somebody would pay him some money to go over there and ride. And just continue to do what you're doing, man, because honestly, I think a lot of people for a very long time wanted to see this version of Barcia, and he was still kind of stuck in like, oh, I need to be like the wild child, and I need to be the...
Nailed it!
I need to be the guy that everybody hates. And
Flies, bro.
now he's just being who he really is. So...
That was awesome on camera.
Just...
Watching the delay on here. Sorry, I'm interrupting your point, but watching the delay on here be smacking that fly.
But
awesome.
as far as results, I don't think I can really disagree with that because he's been this way for like 3 years now.
Does he win A1?
No, I mean, dude, he didn't
Does
win
he win
A1
again?
He hasn't won A1 in a while.
He won it like 5 years in a row.
Look, the only way he wins A1 is if TLD brings the film crew in and they build a jump and A1 actually
Pre-film it?
Oh my God, that was the stupidest thing
Unreal.
ever. I hope they
Unreal.
never decide to do that ever again.
It got so many people fired up.
It's
yeah.
hilarious.
But
All right.
do you see any podiums out of him?
No.
No, because there's 3 guys that are going to be very.
I'm gonna go 4 to 8. To be honest,
consistently, or like that's like.
with you. Yeah, I think so. I think he's one of those dudes that he just is right there. Okay, well, 4 to 10.
All right, I can see that.
And if a whole bunch of people get hurt, and including like those 3-4 big hitters that we're going to talk about, okay, then he can get on the box. Yeah. But I don't see him doing it if those dudes are all healthy.
Does he win a heat race?
Yeah,
okay,
I could see that.
All right, I think he can win a heat race. I mean,
he's Barcia. Let's face it, people freeze behind Barcia, okay, because they just don't want any part of it. So
Hey, another cool thing about this is like a reoccurring theme that I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
Guys laying the foundation for after racing, right?
Yeah.
You can get a Bam Bam TV or a Barcia shirt at Zoomies. Do you know
What?
that? Yeah.
No
dude.
way.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
he is making
in Kalamazoo.
I don't know if it's here in Kalamazoo, but I did see that he had a deal where some of his merch was in Zoomies.
Oh, dude, then he's making a lot of money. He's
That's
making a lot of money off of that.
That's
That's actually a pretty big deal.
Super interesting.
That's
Who's
a pretty
his
big deal.
agent?
I don't know.
I gotta find out.
Whoever his
because,
agent is, they
yeah.
know what they're doing. I mean,
Yes,
that's what you
they
say.
do.
Barcia is marketable, man.
Yeah.
He's gonna make money. Look, he's gonna make money as long as he wants to continue to be himself.
I think he wants to do some mountain bike racing after he's done too.
Wouldn't
I
surprise
heard
me.
he's
He talked
an
about
animal
that.
on a bike.
I heard he is too.
I mean, dude, cardio's never been his issue.
No.
So.
No. Well,
Not-
you gotta
not
have
the
it
way
to ride
that guy
right?
rides,
Yeah.
no.
No.
All right, let's move on to the other. This is the little bit more interesting thing here, and
This
I
is a very
actually
interesting
I
one.
recorded a whole video for this.
Oh, you did?
Never put it out.
Oh. Was this like recently or a couple weeks ago?
Probably like a few weeks
After
ago.
the word came down that it
Hang
was
on a
for
second.
sure.
Hang on a second. I got energy drinks in the freezer, and I don't want them to explode in your freezer.
Okay, yeah, please don't.
Hey man, save me at least 2 of those.
I got one.
I
in the
don't think
freezer
he's.
for you.
I don't think he's gonna drink 12 of
He
them.
might.
like today.
Maybe he wants his heart to explode later.
I don't know. All right, everybody on YouTube, thank you guys for
Thank you,
continuing
thank
to
you.
watch here. We're going to go through this last guy on TLD, and then we're going to cut the live feed. But make sure to comment down below, whether it's on the live feed or the main show or anything that you see here as far as when I cut up any of this. Make sure that you guys comment if
you
you
didn't
like
need to bring me
these,
one right
if
now,
you like
bro.
these live feeds. Because like
There
I
you
said,
go.
I think we're going to do some this year. I'm not exactly sure how or when or for what, but I have some ideas to talk to these guys about after we record. So again, thank you everybody for tuning in on the live feed there. Okay, last guy on TLD Gas, and he's only going to do the first 3 rounds here. Jorge Prado, world champ, coming over riding the 111. He
On a bike that doesn't have TLD on it.
took a couple of those ones off
didn't know
his
that.
jersey.
Yeah, it took a couple off. No, it doesn't have TLD. It doesn't have TLD anywhere on the bike.
Okay, so here's my thing. I think he's going to progressively get better as the rounds go on. I have heard he's doing all right, but he kind of lacks some top-end speed on Supercross.
His whoop speed's good though.
I don't know.
Some flat, fresh test track whoops.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this goes. Now, you and I had heard a while ago, and I brought this up in the video I recorded that I never put out when it was confirmed he was coming, that he was using the U.S. as kind of a leverage point for his 2024 contract with Europe. However, obviously that all changed because you had Lewis Phillips break the news after Des Nations that he was coming over to
The
test for
day
2 weeks.
after.
The day after. He interviewed him at Des Nations, was like, hey, there's some news. You're coming to the U.S., right?
Yeah, I gotta play.
Yes. Obviously that went well. Obviously he wants to try this. And to be completely honest, I think he's coming next year full time.
2025.
Yeah.
2025. Yeah.
So that's super duper interesting. Now, there's going to be some guys, and like I said, this is where you and I might differ. I don't know your thoughts yet, that are going to be like, he's going to come over and do great. And I've heard plenty of people out there talk about he's going to podium. He's going to podium.
I wouldn't go that
He's
far.
not going to podium.
I wouldn't go that far.
He
That's
isn't
too
getting
much.
on the podium. I'll
That's
tell
too
you
mu-
right now.
that's too much.
He's not podium.
Yeah, that's too much.
He is.
I wouldn't go that far.
I said 12 to 15. I'm harsh, but
I'm going to go 6 to 12. I think anywhere, because he does get good starts. He yanks good starts.
And his race IQ is
His
through the
race
roof.
IQ is pretty good. He doesn't look terrible on a Supercross track from what I've seen. And the big thing we were all looking for was whoops. And then I saw him hit the whoops, and I went, that's not bad. And from what I've heard,
Timing's there.
he's doing well, but he lacks high-end speed. So I think cardio-wise and everything, he's just going to go through the race, do the laps. Obviously, he doesn't want to get hurt racing these 3 rounds. He's here to test, essentially. So what I think is going to happen is I think he'll progressively get better as the 3 rounds go on. But I also think it's going to be like it's not there. I don't think we're going to see anything crazy.
I'm going to stand by my comments that I made when I heard this whole ordeal before it was even broken, when I told you about the rumor I had heard even before MX of Nations, and everybody was like, no. I stand by my comment. I feel like 10th at the first round,
Yep.
which obviously is A1. Second round is San Fran, right? San Fran and San
think
Diego.
so,
San
yeah,
Fran.
yeah.
San Fran, 8th.
Yep.
And then at San Diego, he gets a 5th, and that's it. And then he walks away. He goes out, and he defends his GP title no matter what happens, and he comes back here, and he's moving to the U.S. in 2025.
I've heard people be like, "Well, what do
No,
you think
he's
is
not
going to
gonna
happen
podium.
if he's in the
he-
points?" And
No,
blah?"
no,
I'm
no,
like,
no.
he's
'Cause
not going to be.
This was all his decision. People need to remember this. This was not gas. Like DeCarly
No. Mm-hmm.
and all them, where he's actually getting paid by. They don't care. He was like, I want to go test the waters, because years ago when he was a young kid, 16 years old on KTM, he came over here. He did the California tour when everybody was like, oh, he's going to come over to the States. This is not for him. This is just getting his feet wet, testing the waters. He doesn't have the pressure on him to do well, because no matter what he's going to do, it's all about that GP title, winning that GP title, backing it up. He's going to come over here, see what it's like to be under the bright lights, which I don't think is going to phase him, because that kid has so much freaking confidence. the fans, people are like, oh, that might crumble him because it does to other people. I'm here to tell you, Jorge Prado doesn't get freaked out by that kind of shit. You can tell when you hear him talk.
Did you listen to the Gypsy Tales podcast with him?
Oh, I heard he threw shade at a lot of people.
But
see, here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Did he throw some at Jet?
He did. He did.
He
Jet,
did.
Here's the thing.
dating his sister and then kicking her to the curb.
Here's the thing, too. You got
no, not that.
No, he talked about his undefeated season.
Yeah.
Here's the thing you got to
He
hear.
basically said if like the top 3 Euro guys were over here, he wouldn't even. How do you put it?
Oh, I can't remember. It's
I
been
can't
a while.
remember if
I
the
guess I'll have to
Euros
listen
over
to it.
here or if he went over to the Euros.
It was
Like,
probably
wouldn't
more
even-
if he came over there.
I think that's what it was.
I don't
Thought
think-
there is because Jet was with his sister.
Well,
Was it really?
Here's the thing you got to remember about Prado, though. This is all you need to learn.
And this is what I've missed having you on the show is you have these insider info.
This is what you just need to learn about Prado as far as the confidence thing goes. Literally, his first actual ever race in the MX2 at 16 years old, freshly 16 years old, might I add, at Assen, he would not move over for Hurlings.
He talks about that in the podcast.
Like,
which
he
is
pissed
hilarious.
off Jeffrey so bad, and Prado's like, I don't care. I don't care who you are. And then he got into it with Cairoli when they were... Prado, he doesn't let pressure get to him.
I don't know a lot about him.
This kid does not, and I'm not even a Prado fan. I love watching him ride. I kind of think he's a little shithead, to be honest with you. But this is just to talk about the whole, people think, well, how's he going to do with the bright lights? Because that's like a Euro thing. People don't.
So he carries himself a lot like Jet. A shithead.
No, I think even as critical as I am about Jet sometimes, I think that he's a little bit different than people. Prado, no, I think Prado is a legit little shithead.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know much about him.
I don't think Jet is a shithead, but I think that there's a little bit more to it, but that's a different story. Prado, I fully believe is a shithead.
Okay.
But that's where I talk about in the sense of I don't think
Well, he's never coming on the show now, so that's cool.
Do you know how much money? No. But no, the last point, I don't think pressure is going to be, it's not going to get to him. He doesn't know what that word means.
Yeah.
He's got too much confidence in himself.
I don't
Whether that
think so
goes one
either.
way or another, we'll see. We don't know. Because it could hurt him, it could help him.
I'll tell you this much. So it was very interesting listening to the Gypsy Tales podcast with him because he, like you said, it was all about backing up that title over there. He openly states he does not give a shit. He did it. He won a GP title. He's done. He doesn't care.
He's just doing it because he's contracted to do it.
I mean, literally, I think if for some reason he did come over and things were going really, really well these first 3 rounds, I don't think he'd go back. To be honest,
No,
with
I agree
you.
with that.
I think he'd just be like, "Yeah, fuck your contract."
Well, and here's the thing, too, though, is we've also heard this from a certain person in Chicagoland. Everybody in Austria loves him.
yeah,
So, like, they will give him whatever the hell he wants. Plain and simple. Like, as crazy as it is to think, Chase Sexton is the #1 Austrian rider over here.
yeah.
Prado has more pull than
Yep.
Chase does, which is a wild, granted, Prado has a world championship, Chase doesn't, but still, it's a wild thing to think about Chase on a factory KTM, the biggest guy over here. Prado has more pull with them than Chase does.
Yeah.
So he will get what he wants.
Prado's a big deal. I mean, you got to think of the scale outside of like results too. Like, when has there ever been a 450 MXGP world champion
Current.
with the #1 plate decides I'm gonna go race Supercross? It hasn't been done,
And then them say, okay.
Yeah.
and makes it
Hurlings
work.
couldn't get away with doing it.
I mean, yeah, Hurling wanted to ride outdoors, been very vocal about it, and he hasn't done it. And this is Supercross. This isn't outdoors. There's a
No.
lot more of a risk here. And I doubt there's a correlation to this, but there might be. It's going to bring a lot more eyes.
Yep.
Oh,
There's going to be a
Spaniards.
Spanish channel.
Oh, my
Yep.
God.
I don't know if there is a correlation to that, but
And
it's going to help.
And that's a market that's like an untapped market. I mean, there's a lot of money in Spain.
That's a big market there. I mean, like, off on a tangent here, but Mr. B's putting all his videos in Spanish, and they're bigger than the U.S. channels.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, he looks good in the videos. I don't think he would have said, yes, I'm doing it if he wasn't somewhere close to AP or Sexton or any of the guys he's riding with. If he wasn't within the ballpark of those guys speed-wise,
Yeah.
I think his ego says, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't want to get embarrassed.
So, I think he looks great, but I want to see him on a rough track. I want to
Yeah.
see him dissect a rough track.
Well, and even get through a race day with the short amount of time
Well,
they get.
here's the lucky thing for him, though. He's doing it on West, so outside of a mudder, which actually he's good in the mud, different in Supercross, obviously. He might not even have to really. I mean, granted, late in the night when the moisture's coming up and it gets slick, but that's his strong suit. He's not really going to deal with a East Coast chewed up track.
Yeah,
So it's
he
going to
ain't
be a
going
lot
to Indy.
different. Yeah.
So, Yeah, I just want to see him on a rough track. Either way, if it goes well or doesn't go well, it's pretty damn cool to have a current #1 plate holder from Europe come over and do Supercross.
Not that I think this will happen, because I don't agree with anybody that thinks he's going to get a podium. I think that's that's just not going to happen. Maybe down the line, but no, not now. But just hypothetically, can you imagine, though, what will happen, like how crazy shit will be, though, that just say for the hypotheticalness of this, A1, the main, like Jet, Eli, Chase, whoever, like they're buried in the pack or whatever, and Prado's out front. And like the way it goes
weird
well,
shit happened today.
No, but like just the craziness of all the hype around him, the #1, the GP guy, and then the top guys that are supposed to do it, they just have issues for whatever. This is a hypothetical, and he's out front. I'm here to tell you, not that he would win it, but that's going to be a really hard dude to pass.
Yeah.
If he's got some left in the tank on lap
Yep.
23 or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't think it's going to happen, but I just think the storylines that would come out of it, which is great for us because that's the whole point of our show, the storylines that would come out of that of, oh my God, Prado's out front and we have 2 laps to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So that wraps up the TLD team there.